We are naturally fashionable, and as a result, we are fashionable by nature. That's what Carnival is. The desire to let people see the style that you are enjoying. You can't enjoy it if they're not enjoying it. If they're not looking at you and feeling the enjoyment of what you are wearing, there's no fun in it.
The East Indian culture is mine. The African culture is mine. The Chinese culture is mine. I am a mix of all those things.
For me, mixing Rastafari with Japanese, with whatever, it doesn't even occur to me that that's what's going on. It just happens. Because I'm not really any one thing, I kind of feel like I have a passport to a whole different range of cultural experiences. Perhaps it's not unique only to Trinidad, but I definitely think for me it's because I'm Trini. There's no question that's how I see things.
There is a dish in Trinidad called callaloo. Callaloo is a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and that's what we are, a callaloo people.
The vibrancy of what we're surrounded by, the flora and the fauna and the sea, and you can't help it.
Some beautiful colors that don't even have a name exist right here in the Caribbean.
You can even see the ocean, the flow of the wind, the way the waves move. You can see all of that in our stars, silhouettes, in our colors.
I use a kind of metaphor. Pan is the creation of beauty where there was once none. And that's what Trinidad is making beauty from nothing.
Robert, he has something that is very unique. It says we are different, we are Caribbean, but it's so sophisticated. He, to me, is the one that has embraced all our cultures, has embraced our color.
We live in a very sexy place, and so it comes out in the clothes, undoubtedly.
To a large extent, when someone hears about fashion in the Caribbean, they would think about Jamaica. Jamaica started Caribbean Fashion Week, but the major Caribbean designers that participated there all came from Trinidad.
I think the names of Claudia, The Cloth, Heather Jones, Mailing, myself, I think these are names that every Caribbean island remembers and knows.
We collectively are the front runners in fashion in the Caribbean. So I think it's only rightful for us to stake that claim that fashion in the Caribbean is Trinidad fashion.
I am really proud of what Fashion Week has done, and also the attention that it brought to the industry.
We pulled the world in. The world came to us. There were 1,000 people seated per night for 5 nights. The last Fashion Week, we were on over 1,000 online sites all over the world. I saw images in Milan of Fashion Week, Trinidad and Tobago.
You need to have a platform for designers to actually come forward to the market and discover who they are. Anya Yangchi, the first place she ever appeared was on Fashion Week Trinidad and Tobago. She was a model first 1 year, and then the year after she did a collection.
Anya's success brought Trinidad and Tobago to the international stage.
Trinidad was rooting for Anya all the way, and I think Anya has opened the door to many young designers.
The collection was called Tobago Love. That alone brought visibility to Tobago.
I'm glad now that Anya won Project Runway, and now on a fashion sense, we are now getting the opportunity to be seen and be understood as a heavyweight.
I do think that Project Runway, at least in the American cultural landscape, has been an opportunity for people to know, well, this is what we sound like, this is what Trinidad looks like, this is the Caribbean like you've never seen it before.
I think in more ways than one, I'm one of the oldest, or if not the oldest, fashion designer in Trinidad, and have been working for 30 plus years. Trinidadians are very stylish. Up to recently, everybody had their own dressmaker. So everybody went to the fabric shop, bought their fabric, went to their dressmaker. And then I would say in the 80s, there was just a wave of designers.
Along Frederick Street, all the Trinidadian designers had shops. And then in the late 90s, imported garments started coming into the country.
And then cable television came in, and people wanted instant fashion. They saw it there, they wanted it tomorrow. They didn't care if it fell apart. And more shops were just mushrooming, malls were mushrooming, and our business started to dwindle. Now, Frederick Street is a sea of cheap imported garments. The landscape has changed drastically.
More recently, there's been a shift to paying attention to local talents.
Our fashion is now going through its second life.
About a month ago, our first batch of BA students graduated. Amazing talent.
I was quite impressed with what I saw, the creativity, the technical ability of the students.
The way that they manipulate fabric to make it theirs. They've been able to figure out how to make their mark on their clothing.
Most people have to travel to New York or Parsons in Paris and such to study a program of this quality. We're very fortunate to have it right here locally.
When I first got down here, I don't think that there was a wide understanding of international fashion, at least by the students. But now with the graduating class, I mean, I think that they're a lot more aware of what's going on internationally, and there's some really good talent down here.
It's time for us to show the rest of the world, okay, baby, you can try copying us now.
When I look at the Victoria's Secret's runway show, for me that is carnival. That is our carnival.
That was a big moment. A rapper like that running around Trinidad involved in carnival culture. So if you're lucky enough to have something, you embrace that something and nurture it. We got carnival.
Carnival is imagination running rampant.
Peter Minshall is the mass man of the Caribbean. Unchallenged.
Minshall is hugely influential for me. I think for probably many of us.
Minshall was starting his own band in 1983 called River. It was all white cotton, big flowing skirts, some informed by our ballet dancers. Everybody was given like a little pouch of color, and then when they got to the stage, it was sprayed on all the masqueraders. So we started in white and they ended up with which you would call tie-dye. After that, the fashion industry latched on and all the artists started to dye fabrics for us, the designers. So Minshall started a whole wave of a new fashion in Trinidad, which now still happens.
This year I launched Tribe, and while I launched my costumes, I also showed some auxiliary pieces that are from my collections that were influenced by my carnival design. And that way, for me, I started to make it clear that there is a direct linkage.
Carnival is fashion and fashion is carnival. You can't separate the two.
My name is Sarah Jane.
I'm Ayana Revere.
My name is Shania Green. I would describe my personal style as classic with a twist. When it comes to accessories, I guess that's where the twist comes in.
I'm pretty much designing and getting my mother to make most of my clothes. So, I have ideas of how I want to feel in clothing, and that's kind of what I stick to.
When you go out, you know everybody there. That's what happens when you're on a small island. So it puts on pressure to come good, you have to look good. And, you have to come up with fresh ideas.
I felt ridiculous keep spending money on three stripes or a tick. So I decided one day, let me just make something for myself. You have a lot of street artists and casual designers who do a lot of good work, but they just need that exposure.
In 2009, I started Trinidad Lookbook as a style blog, and then started doing fashion editorials, pulling clothes from Mei Ling, from Claudia Pegas, from a bunch of different designers, and featuring young makeup artists, young photographers. Eventually, we took the leap into print. We wanted to really have those young emerging talents highlighted in a serious way.
My name is Laurie Antoinette. I'm the designer for Hakwai. I've done Tobago Fashion Week 2011 and also 2012. I do have people that are calling and asking me, yo, when is your stuff going to be out? When can I purchase it? Where can I purchase it? Which is nice because that means that we're doing something right.
Now, if you look at what's on the market, you can see a strong Caribbean influence. If you look at Mailing's work and you see the way the whites flow in the wind.
And particularly Mailing's meticulous attention to detail.
My tagline is less is more, so my work is very, very minimal. But always there's a surprise detail in my work. You know, resort is becoming a huge season now. Before in the international market, there was spring, summer, and then there was fall, winter. Resort is growing because they see it as a whole special season and it's a whole niche market.
The way people tend to feel wearing, let's say, Gucci or Versace or Prada or whatever, like to see that start to become, well, yeah, I'm wearing an Anya, I'm wearing a Mailing or whatever, that's just amazing.
And I think we live resort. So we understand it better than anyone else in the world.
Columbus accidentally found us on his way to the east looking for silks. Now we are luring people, come to us because we have something to offer. We are aware of our style and we are aware of our power in this new option to the world, the global style.
When you think about New York, Paris, Milan, Tokyo, London, like they are offering creative talents. There's talent like pouring out of the soil in Trinidad.
And I think this is what we have to offer the world.
Right now, the Caribbean is ripe. It's ripe for fashion. Fashion is ready. We're ready.